Demon Slayer,
Yes,
which
sir.
I really want to talk about. We just finished a couple weeks ago, season 3 of Demon Slayer. If you guys haven't been caught up, it's a brand new arc. It's the Swordsmith Village arc. That's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah, that one's hard. Yeah.
But it literally takes place like right after the second arc where they were in the entertainment district, which was a phenomenal season. So season 2 was amazing. It probably is, in my opinion. We'll rank them later, but that one's really good. Season 3, however, there is what I've been reading online too, which I kind of can agree with my opinion, is there's a lot of controversy in terms of, the quality and story has maybe dropped a little. I don't know if that's because they're trying to rush, everything into these seasons, because the manga's over.
Yeah.
Okay. So
is it?
The manga's over, yeah. So
finished.
Demon Slayer has ended.
Gotcha.
So those who have read the manga know what happens. So I don't know if it's, pacing issue, but the season 3 seemed to really fall a little bit in terms of quality story-wise. The production and, visuals were amazing, right? But as you know, when we were watching this, Tanjiro, beloved Tanjiro, shows up to the village where they actually make the swords, right? And he's accompanied by his sister.
Yeah, Tanjiro, notorious for breaking his swords.
He's very notorious. So now he actually goes, he can now have the ability to go meet the people that make his swords because he breaks them so much. But I mean, we're introduced to a lot in the season and a lot happens. So real quick, what's this season about? Like, what's going on?
Well, so this goes right from the second season, right?
Yeah.
So Tanjiro, he's in recovery. He's kind of like there's always a recovery stage after his last fight and stuff like that. Yeah, they get beat up.
I'm surprised he survived.
Yeah, seriously.
It's crazy.
Seriously. But going into this one, he's in recovery mode. Kind of like his wounds, mending his wounds and stuff. But how did it like introduce the villains into this? I'm trying to think back to how did like the demons kind of get
right,
because the first episode was really telling of this season.
It was insane. So it basically started with a meeting that Muzan, the main demon, has with his upper ranked moons, right?
Which is the first time we've seen all the upper ranks together.
You see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because 6 died in season 2, right? Gyutaro, I think it was the siblings. So they died.
They were great.
They were amazing, by the way. And their backstories.
Yeah. Oh man, their backstories are so like heartstring.
Right, which is an issue we had with the demons
season
in
3. Yeah,
which we'll get to. But so they're in this meeting, and Muzan is pissed off. He is upset because he created these demons in order for them to go find the special flower that can grant him powers to suppress the sun and be actually able to go out in the daytime. Because the second they touch the sun, they disintegrate, they die. So he assembles this group of upper ranked demons to carry out the mission. And all right, we got to go find this flower, right? So again, we finally get to meet the upper rank one, which looks like a badass. We don't really get to see him much, doesn't have much screen time.
No, but there is a resemblance a little bit to a very main character that we know and love.
He looks like Tanjiro.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. And then we meet upper rank 2, which was the former upper rank 6. He's the one who gave the powers to the siblings that we saw in season 2.
Who was that?
The upper rank 2. Remember the guy with the gray hair?
Gotcha.
Kind of cool
he gave
design?
the powers to the siblings?
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
But now come to find he's been promoted. So he must be strong.
Yeah.
Right? And then Akaza, number 3, who killed our boy Rengoku. Rest in peace. But
R.I.P.
And then we have upper ranked 4, which is kind of this like weird, timid, like he's very scared and shy, and it seems like how is this guy powerful? He has this like huge like what do you
I don't know. It's like a wart, but it's like an extra head growing out of his head.
It looks like a big boil or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah.
So you have that guy, which again I questioned his powers. I'm like, how is this guy strong? And then we have upper rank 5, which is a guy in a vase who is very how would you describe him?
He's kind of like a genie a little bit.
Right.
Kind of resembles a genie and has like a bunch of arms, got mouths for eyes.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy design. He had a cool design.
He did.
Sure. Yeah.
And he was super interested and like fascinated by art. Everything he did, he considered art, and like art's beautiful. Death is art. Like
right.
Which it is still gruesome. This season is still gruesome.
Yeah.
It's still very gory, violent, which I love. But getting into the demons, a huge part of the story is in my opinion, there was a huge lack of development for these demons.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We get introduced to 2 demons. Again, 5 and 4 were in this season. And it seemed like they just got killed off almost
way too easily.
Yeah, way too easily for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, also really fast it seemed like too. Yeah. Not a lot of character development. I didn't feel like I got to know them.
Exactly.
Like we were talking about the siblings, upper rank 6, right?
Yep.
They had a really good arc throughout the whole season in season 2 where you kind of like saw their animosity towards each other, you saw them fighting, you saw how they interact with each other, and you saw why that all is come together at the end. And like it was kind of like this beautiful moment at the end of season 2. And then season 3, you know, you go from that, and then season 3 I felt like I didn't get any backstory of upper ranks 5,
the vase
demon, and then upper rank 4 we got a little bit,
a tiny bit
to his backstory, but it wasn't anything to like feel bad for the guy. You know, it just kind of added to him being a bad guy. You know, it didn't really give him any redeeming qualities.
No, absolutely.
So yeah, I don't know, it felt a little, it definitely fell off in that aspect for me.
I feel like I was robbed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because the beautiful thing about this show is, as gory, as violent as it is, it does promote this idea that all these villains are really just tragedies because they were once humans who have had really bad, lives. They've lived terrible lives, either poverty, violence, drugs, gangs, and like their only way out really was to become demons, right? So as you see Tanjiro kind of exterminate these demons, you really see the backstory, and you really connect to these demons. Like, dude, you guys were humans, and Tanjiro sees that too, and he like apologizes for killing them too. There's points where he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I wish this could be different. And that really touches you. There's that emotional core, right? So where was that?
It was gone, bro. It literally wasn't there, you have 2 demons. Yeah. And like, these are both upper rank demons. So they're like the most powerful of the most powerful. You want to know about these people because they're just they're the main demons. So you want to know as much as you can about them. And that the demon backstories to me always kind of hit the hardest because they're so traumatic, and just all these humans have had like really upsetting lives, so it always hits a little bit like pretty hard when they die. But these ones, it was like in one ear out the other kind of thing with them. It seemed like very not memorable to me.
Not really memorable. And another thing is, why do they seem so weak, right?
Yeah.
So like we get introduced to 2 new Hashiras, right? So we get Muichiro, which is the Mist Hashira.
Yep.
And then we get the Love Hashira, which I
can look up her name.
Look her up. Yeah. So we get introduced to both of these new Hashiras, and initially what I'm curious about is the ranking of the actual Hashiras. We haven't really seen that. I'm sure there is a rank who's the weakest and who's the strongest Hashira. But it definitely made it seem, they made the point, where both Muichiro and then the Love Hashira are definitely stronger than, like, let's say Tengen or Rengoku. Right. Because there's something interesting that happens to these 2 Hashiras in the form of kind of a mark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Muichiro gets this like cool mark, like on his
kind of like fangs,
right? Kind of, which significantly boosts his power, whether it be his breathing technique or his physical prowess or whatever movement, stuff like that. And same with did you get her name?
It's Mitsuri.
Yeah, okay, Mitsuri. So, and then she also gets a mark, right? So these marks that haven't really been explained yet, which is also similar to Tanjiro's mark that you can kind of see grow sometimes when he's in battle, really adds this level of kind of power. Yeah. Right. So
kind of mystery too.
And correct.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what, they can be about. Is it something you gain? Is it something that is, worked upon? But so these 2 Hashiras go and it seems like defeat these demons super easily. There was a point where the Miss Hashira was trapped in this bubble. He was fighting the vase guy, upper 5. And it seemed like maybe he was going to die. Yeah. He had spikes through him. He was losing his breath. And then eventually there's that little kid who like grants, which is a super cool scene. He grants his breath to him so he can get that extra little boost. That was super sick.
That was cool.
And then it kills him.
Yep.
It seemed
immediately.
It like the upper 5 like transformed into this weird snake slimy creature.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because he dies immediately.
Like, yeah. So the action, I feel like the action did kind of fall off maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the upper ranked 4, it seems like Mitsuri just, again, with her cool little baton, sword.
Which was a cool design.
It was.
Yeah.
And she seems super strong in herself. I mean, we see her backstory too. We see both their backstories, which we'll touch upon. But yeah, she kills him off too immediately.
Yeah. The stakes, bro. The stakes just didn't feel like they were there as much.
Not really.
Like, you really had like an all is lost feeling in season 2. I never really felt that. I did feel that at some point in season 3, but it felt super phoned into me, which we can talk about in a little bit. But yeah, there was it didn't hit as hard for me, definitely.
No, not really. And for me, like the point where I felt like all was lost was spoilers. I mean, this whole thing has been kind of spoiled a little bit already. But towards the very end with Nezuko, where the sun is finally coming up, it's sunrise. You know, the other demon hasn't been killed yet. The shy one, number 4. So now Tanjiro has to make a decision. Do I go over to my sister who's exposed out in the area, no shade? Or do I go and stop this demon who's on his last breath but is about to kill these kids?
Yeah.
You know, there was kind of that decision, which I did like.
Yeah.
I did find that cool. But then his sister sacrifices herself by, like, because he does run over to Nezuko.
Yeah.
You know, kicks him
to
off.
Protect her.
And he's like, all right, I got to do this. He's crying. But then what happens?
Nezuko is immune to the sunlight.
Great. Amazing.
Yeah.
Which I get it. However, just the way they presented it felt so phoned in. It felt cheap.
Yeah.
You know, like,
dude, that whole sequence when Tanjiro has to make that decision to either save Nezuko from the sunlight or to save some of these civilians that are getting chased by the demon. I'm just like, why are we here in this situation?
Yeah.
It felt so like, I don't want to say it felt stupid, but it almost felt stupid to me.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm like, why is, like, Nezuko knows not to be in the light, one thing.
Yeah.
Two, like, it's just like everything, like, just kind of, there's all these people sitting at the top of the mountain that could help him out. Where's Love Hashira? Where's Miss Hashira? So it's kind of like, I don't know, that last, like, little, like, reach to have, like, this tension and, like, this, like, all is lost kind of, like, feeling just felt so, like, it didn't build up to that ever. And you knew what was going to happen because Nezuko hadn't been in the season much, like, that season. So you can't, at least me, I had this idea that Nezuko wasn't going to die.
Okay.
I didn't know how, but it was, and then come and find out, like, no one really understands how it just happened.
Oh my God, she's alive.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. Oh my God. Like, they were like celebrating and stuff. I mean, then Nezuko ended up, like, even speaking a little.
Oh,
so
yeah.
She kind of gained some of her more human, you know, I guess, personality. But again, as much as I hated that, it makes sense because it now sets up to what Muzan is trying to go to. We now finally get to see a little of his backstory and his motives, right? Muzan wants to be immune to the sun, and now he sees that, and he refers to her as, like, the one who is immune or something. Like, now he knows, I don't need these other demons. I don't need these upper ranks. I know who's immune, and I'm gonna go get her. So I get it.
I
understand
it too. And I think after we, like, finished watching it, like, not in the moment anymore, in the grand scheme of Demon Slayer, I, like, see where it all fit. I think it was the presentation that kind of was not my favorite, but
could be.
I see in the grand scheme of the story how it all ties together, and I like where it's going. But yeah, maybe the presentation of it was just a little forced for me.
Exactly. So yeah, a lot of new characters were introduced. Again, so we saw the new demons. We saw 2 new Hashiras. We get to see a little bit more of Genya, I think, was the other guy.
Cool character.
Because keep in mind, we didn't see Zenitsu or Inosuke.
Yeah,
they were absent. Yeah, which I was like, what? I actually was kind of, you know, baffled.
Yeah.
You know, they're also main characters
for sure,
but I'm sure they'll have their own arc.
Yeah.
But in place of them, we get Genya, which now we're presented with another element. He seems to have these demon powers, right? Where he kind of can regenerate. We see him get shot or, like, holes blown through him and, like, Swiss cheese, and he's good. He's like, I ate that. It's all good. You know what I mean? So, and it seems like he can eat demons and kind of gain their power.
Yeah.
So now we're introduced to these new characters, which adds more layers. So I am very interested to find out more about them.
He seems like he could be one of my favorite characters, honestly.
And his brother is the Hashira.
That's right.
Yeah, his brother is the Hashira who actually stabbed Nezuko in season 1 through the box. Like, he sensed the demon and he just starts going at it, you know.
Mean dude.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see the relationship between those two brothers. That'll be cool. And we got introduced to what was it? Tanjiro's main swordsmith. That super buff dude.
Dude, he's jacked.
He's jacked, bro. And there's a point where in the plot they find the super old ancient sword that was used in the back. I forgot the periods, you know, in Japan. But it was in one of the older periods in Japan.
Right. Yeah.
And now this guy's going ham on trying to restore it, right?
Yeah.
So he's like just focused in, and
he's
then
literally, if people are like beating him up and he has like no regard for them, he's just so focused.
The demon, like upper 5, even starts getting pissed, like, bro, focus on me, dude. He starts slashing him, he's bleeding, but he's still going ham at this sword. So that was funny. I will admit the comedy was still there.
Oh yeah.
So it was fun.
Uh-huh.
So as much gripe as we had with it was a fun, entertaining season.
No, it's not like, it definitely was still good. I mean, Demon Slayer is always going to be good, I think. It's just in relation to the other stuff, maybe wasn't my favorite season. I still loved it though. I still liked it a lot though. So for sure.
I definitely rank season 2 at the top, then season 1, and then season 3.
Yeah, I'd say I have to put season 2 at top 2. Season 1 though, you got it. Like the world building of season 1 is pretty insane.
It is insane. Absolutely,
it's pretty insane. So got to give it credit for that. But season 2, it gets deep and it gets a little goes the extra step, in season 2 for sure.
And so now I'm excited because I've talked to people without having them spoil stuff. They all mention like, oh, just wait. Like you thought season 3 was mid, which they also agree with. They're like, just wait until season 4 comes out. There's like crazy stuff that happens. Like there's so much. Like I'm just excited. But now we gotta wait like what, 2 years maybe.
I know, yeah. It's worth it for those though.